Hello everybody, it's Amanda. How are you doing? Right, this is going to be the version that comes to you. I've tried to start this video now 6 or 7 times and I keep getting tongue-tied. And I know it's because what I'm needing to say here is actually quite important. So let's just take a nice deep breath in and start again. What do I want to say to you? I'm going to do a card reading is the first thing I'm going to say. We're going to do that in a shortly. But I'm actually just trying to bring through quite an important message before I do that. Usually message, I can't even say it, message. It's the 20th of January 2020. 3 20s. In terms of colour energies, the system that I used to teach, which was called Colour Mirrors, had within it a colour bottle which was number 20, which was brown stroke copper and magenta. Whenever I used to work with that system, it was always a colour combination that people never really chose. They shied away from it. And in fact, if you ever did colour readings or something like that, and you said to somebody, okay, choose a colour that represents that person that really triggers you or you don't particularly like, 9 times out of 10, they'd choose that one. And it always interested me because actually within that colour combination, the rich brown and the magenta lay the energy of awakening. That person or that thing or that behaviour that so triggered you, that so troubled you, was actually trying to teach you something and awaken you. Awaken you to maybe reserves within yourself of greater compassion, love, forgiveness. Maybe awakening you to, hey, I'm not standing for this, stop, I'm walking away. Awakening is awakening. It can mean many different things. So on today's date, where we've got 3 20s, I just feel as though we're on the cusp of this big awakening through this year. Now, many others are talking about this, and it's not the first time I've mentioned it either. But I'm being told to talk to you about the fact that just because we're gifted clearer vision, because 2020 is about clearer vision, which is part of our awakening. I keep hearing a train tooting. It's like the train's in the station waiting for us to get on board. Just because we're given the gift of clearer vision and clarity, it can be a very uncomfortable place to be. We just pause for a moment and think about that. It can be a very uncomfortable place to be. What I mean by that is I've observed even within myself, over the last week in particular, I've felt as though I've been squirming in my seat. And I might even call this video Squirming in Your Seat. Because it ain't just me. What I mean by that is that if we're being able to see more clearly, that implies we're able to see more clearly in terms of our own shadow and our own darkness, our own resistance, our own barriers, our own blocks. And it's like, okay, well, how many more excuses are you going to make before you do X, Y, Z? What else are you going to put up as a barrier to doing what you really know in your heart you need to do? Why are you procrastinating? Prioritizing other things that are not as important over the one thing in the room, the elephant in the room, that needs to be dealt with, the conversation that needs to be had, the thing that you need to do to maybe improve your own health, wealth, or well-being. Why are we not doing that? And I feel as though we're being clearly shown maybe some of our own drivers that have been very deeply buried, and it's like they're now being brought up to the surface. You see, today's date, 20th of January 2020, when you add up all those digits, it comes to a number 7. Number 7 links into Neptune's energy. Well, Neptune was the god of the sea. The sea is deep and unfathomable. And that's where we're being asked to go, you know, into the depths of our being. But with the knowledge that we're always going to come back up again, and that we have oxygen tanks on our backs, and we are able to do it. And when we've done it, we actually feel exhilarated when we come back up to the surface. I've got 3 decks that I want to use. And as I say, there may be a completely different message that comes through when I do the reading, but I did want to say what I've just said. But when I was just shuffling one of the decks, a card flew out, and it's this card, which is the card of love. And I looked at it, and of course it shows a beautiful, multicoloured, multi-dimensional heart. The energy of love we all understand. We're all trying to move towards love. We're all being asked to act more from a place of love as well. This is the consciousness that wants to come in and flood the world. And yet as I looked at the card, I thought, yeah, but there's something else here I'm not seeing. And so I realised it's one of the major arcana cards. This is from the Japardize tarot. It's card number 6. So I went to the traditional tarot just to see what is card number 6. And it's the Lovers. Now, over and above an energy which links into love and relationships and partnerships and romance and sexuality, this is a card of choice. And it feels as though we are being given a choice here to deal with what we can now clearly see, or to carry on denying it. The problem is, if we carry on denying it or just pushing it away to, I'll deal with that tomorrow, I'll deal with that when whatever's happened first, that's where we're feeling this energy of we're squirming in our seats. Because we know that sooner rather than later, we're going to have to deal with the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is going to be different for all of us. But it's something. It could be linked into another person. But really, even if it's linked into another person, it's actually only ever really about you. It could be about a job, but it's really only ever about you. It could be about anything, but really it's only ever about you. It's about your action, your reaction, your attempt to heal, move on from the elephant in the room. And there's a lot of squirming going on, okay? I mean, you can see this on the collective, can't you? I mean, we can see it being played out. People that are trying to sort of wriggle off the hook, deny what is actually right in front of their face for everybody in the world to see. But we're doing it ourselves. It's only happening in the collective because they're just mirroring what we're doing at a micro level. So there are some tough choices, I feel, coming in. But that's looking at the flip side of it, because the positive side of it is to be given 2020 vision, is to be given the gift to be able to liberate yourself, okay? To liberate yourself, to free yourself, to clearly see that is where I want to be going. That's the horizon that I'm headed for. This is who I really am. Even if I haven't explored that aspect of who I am for decades or maybe never before, I know it's in there. I know it's in there seeded, and I know I can bring it out because I've been given the gift to see that I have that seed of potential within me. So let's pull some cards. Let's just see what goes with that card of choice, shall we? The Lovers. Love. I mean, it's really also saying that any choice that you make now needs to be from a place of love. Okay? We have the energy of the 3 of fire, which would be the 3 of wands in the traditional tarot. We have the 9 of fire. I'm just going to pull 3 cards to go with this. And we have the 8 of gardens. So what this is saying to me quite clearly is that whatever choice you make sure you're making it from a place where you're able to see the whole vista in front of you. It's a year to dream big. It's a year whereby, you see, the thing is, I know there are some people watching me here who are saying, well, my horizons aren't that big. I don't have the opportunities that maybe you have. I have a very limited ability to be able to make any choice over anything. You know, I can't see this great horizon. I can't see this. I can't see this land of opportunity. I'm just stuck down here in one tiny little corner with complete limitations and an inability to get out. Well, I'm going to challenge you on that. Because if you're given the gift of 2020 vision, you're actually, what Metatron is saying, you're given a gift also to be able to have peripheral vision as well. You're able to be able to see not just what's in front of you, but what is to your side, what is behind you, okay? And there are gaps. There are things that you cannot see that are there. The gift of being able to have many opportunities in life. This guy's looking down at a beautiful world. You know, it's illuminated. He's up here in his hot air balloon. He's just marveling at everything that's down here. Well, he's able to do that because he's seeing things from a higher perspective. Okay? He's seeing his relationships from a higher perspective. He's seeing his challenges from a higher perspective. He's being able to see what he can't see at ground level. How interesting that today's colours, 20, is linked into brown and magenta. Because brown is the colour of earth and magenta is an energy that links into heaven, heaven to earth. It's as though some of us have become so rooted on earth. I mean, I know we all are rooted on earth, but it's as though we can't see past our nose, actually. It's like we can't see past our nose. We can't see past our current circumstances. One of the gifts from being a parent, one of the things that I have been taught as a parent is that you never know what's round the corner. You can never second guess it. And there are periods when you are a parent where you feel quite hemmed in, to be perfectly honest. I'm going back to maybe, even though it might be beautiful and rewarding, you're still hemmed in. I remember the days of when they were a lot younger, you know, babies, and not being able to get out of the house, literally not being able to get out of the house, maybe a little walk down to the park. But I've always had a lot of ideas, I suppose, and dreams and plans. And even though I loved that stage, there was a side of me that felt very hemmed in. And I remember looking back on it, you know, I spent far too much time worrying about that. Because as soon as you know it, you're out of that phase and you're on to the next phase, you know? And then it changes again. It keeps on changing. So, and I've seen that throughout all my life. It's only when you look back at your life, you realise that there has always been this continuity of change and flow. But yet you can't see it when you're on the ground level, not being able to see past your current circumstances, okay? And it's as though the walls are just all around me. There is no opportunity. This card is saying, yes, there is opportunity, but you need to take a higher perspective view on it. What does that mean? That may very well mean, spiritually, meditate, okay? Go within. It's the path of the hermit. Go within, meditate. You will find your answers. It can also be at a very practical level. It might just mean getting away, you know? Not necessarily getting away for a weekend or a fortnight. You might not be able to afford that. Getting away from the normal everyday routine if you can, even if just for a couple of hours, an afternoon, a whole day. It helps you to realise that actually there is other energy out there that I can welcome in. There are new things that I can focus on, and it needs to be done very much a step at a time. Small little steps. I've always said that. I've always taught that. Change starts with very small little steps. So if you see something within yourself that you really don't like, You know, that you're really struggling with an aspect of who you are, something that you know you need to change. And it just feels too overwhelming. Can you hear that train that keeps going? I never hear a train normally here. It's like there's 3 times I've heard the train going toot toot. We're nowhere near the train station. You know, it's actually a calm day. There's no wind out there. It's being carried here by Metatron. It's like the train's in the station. It's just waiting for you. All you've got to do is get on board and see where life takes you. See where your higher self wishes to take you. And, you know, is it easy when you say things like this for somebody to come back and say, well, it's all right for you. You don't have this. Well, let me give you an example of somebody that I know within my extended family. It's a lady who has no children, no partner, and who at the moment is having to care for her mother, who has senile dementia, and a boyfriend, basically, who she was with, who also has got dementia. 2 people with dementia that she's basically caring for. She's pretty much on her own. And her day is made up of getting up and caring for these 2 people who are getting worse every day. And it's deeply, deeply challenging. Her life, if you look on it, is just very difficult. And so you could say, well, okay, well, where's her opportunity? How can she... Well, as an example, she could let somebody else in to help, okay? She could let go of the reins a little bit. There are actually opportunities for her to do that, but she's choosing not to. It could even be that the person that comes in to help becomes a friend, you know? Offers something that is very needed. Offers her a break. From that break, whether it's half a day, whether it's an evening, she develops an interest in something. That when this particular period of her life is over and she doesn't have that responsibility anymore, because it will end at some point, she's then able to develop that interest even further, okay? And maybe it becomes a new career, or I don't know. I'm just trying to give an example of there are always little gaps. Whatever your life is, however restricted it feels, there's always the opportunity for fresh new energy to come in. All you have to do is open the door. Okay? Having said that, we've got the 9 of Fire. And in this deck, we've got 2 aspects dueling. And this is our light and our dark. It's our shadow and our brightness. And they're in a battle at the moment. Make no mistake about it. There is a battle going on within ourselves, which is like, are you going to change or are you not? Can you see how many people are watching these 2 sides of us dueling? There's a whole crowd here watching. I'm hearing there is a crowd of heaven and there's also a crowd on earth. Obviously not physically watching, but it's as though it's important that your higher self wins this battle with your own darkness that is trying to prevent you from seeing that there are opportunities out there, that you can do it, that you can surmount whatever needs to be surmounted, that you do have choice. That you do have choice. Think about a world where you have no choice. And what I'm being shown by Metatron is something like a very strict prison. You're obviously in prison for a reason, assuming you are guilty. But let's assume you are guilty, you're in prison. One of the biggest deprivations that you encounter is that you have no choice. You know, you are told when you go out and exercise. You are told when the cell door is open. You are told when your meal is presented to you. You are told, you are told, you are told. You have no choice. Your choices are taken away. Okay? It's part of the punishment, I guess. You're not in a prison. You're only in a prison of your own making that is making you feel as though I have no choice. Back to the squirming. The squirming in the chair is your higher self fighting this battle, which is basically saying, come on, you know? Come on, David. Come on, Tom. Come on, Amanda. Come on, Jenny. Come on, Sally. You know, you can do this. Win this battle, the battle within yourself. And as Metatron always advises, get back to work. What do I mean by work? I just mean by acting, doing, being industrious. You know, the devil makes, whatever for idle hands, okay? The devil makes work for idle hands. It feels as though this is a year coming in which also is going to be very productive. It has the opportunity, you have the opportunity to be very productive this year. I'm hearing for some of you to do your best work, to do something you're really proud of, okay? So the answer to all of this, like, indecision, squirming, battle, is like, come on, let's get back to work. It doesn't mean work in terms of the 9 to 5, although it can do. It can be, I mean, in my own life, it's just like, because I'm trying to get fitter, it's like every day now I'm just going out for a little walk. In the great scheme of things, you know, I'm not running a marathon. It's not that impressive, to be perfectly honest. But for me, I'm impressed that I'm able to get myself out and do it. Because my shadow is saying, no, you don't want to do that. No, you're fine. Just stay where you are. You know, here's another packet of biscuits. You know, pop the TV on. You're fine. That's what my shadow wants to do. Whereas my higher self is saying, no, for your own good, Amanda, you need to get out. You need to get out in the fresh air. You need to have a walk. You don't know who you're going to see down the park. You know, who Bella's going to bump into, blah, 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 you know. Socialise, get out there, have some fun, get some fresh air in your lungs. Why would you not do that anyway? Well, it's because there's a bit of a battle going on within me, as it is within you, in terms of whatever you're being called to do more of. Whether it's looking after yourself better, wellness, well-being, whether it is actually getting back to work, putting your energy into work in another way, whether it's to do with putting work into relationships. But remember also, it's about putting work into the relationship you have with yourself. It's really important. On the bottom of the deck, we've got the King of Tides, which is the King of Cups. Okay, the King of Cups. And I feel actually in this respect, this is actually Archangel Metatron, who doesn't normally present himself in that way. But the thing is, you see, what I mean by that is there is great love and there's great compassion and there's great understanding of why we trap ourselves, why we put ourselves into these prisons of our own making. And the King of Tides, the King of Cups is, again, there's two cards here which are about love, which is saying that only love is the thing that helps to actually shift you out of that. Love for yourself, compassion for yourself. The other thing I want to bring in at this point as well is that there seems to be a lot of stuff coming up linked into the inner child. And often when we have this battle within ourselves, it is actually the inner child that is either feeling scared or unable to move forward or resisting the change. He or she is not feeling safe, is not feeling supported enough, is not feeling heard enough. So we need to make sure that we are nourishing her or him within you as well. Make them realise that they're actually on this journey of transformation with you. That anything that you see clearly that is being exposed, it's okay, we can deal with it. We can deal with it together. Maybe in your childhood you had situations where you didn't have a grown-up that always was able to cope or was able to mop up the problems that arose. Well, now you are a grown-up and now you are spiritually mature and you can take care of this being within here that is just feeling a little bit like, I'm not sure it's safe. You're showing me something, I don't know whether I can deal with that. You're not asked to deal with it alone. You have your angels, you have your guides, You have your own higher self. You have God, who is all on your side to be able to make the changes that need to be made this year. Okay, let's pull a few other cards now from a different deck, because I've got 2 decks out here that I wanted to use. Might be a different message, I don't know, let's just see. So, going to use the Keepers of the Earth Oracle by, Healers of the Earth Oracle by Mandy Peterson. Let's give these a shuffle. 3 shuffles. Okay, Metatron. You see, I've got some of my sprays out here, and the ones that I chose are now making sense to me, because I've obviously got the Rose Inner Child spray for reasons that are obvious. I've just talked about the inner child. I've got the Jade spray, which is the higher heart, which is this link between what's in my heart that I want to do and how do I get from here to here? How do I express what's in my heart? How do I communicate that? How do I express that? How do I create that? Okay, how do I create that? And also, how do I do it in a way that feels safe and that I feel protected? And then I've got the Cosmos spray, which is just sort of saying, you know, how big are you going to dream? Dream as big as you possibly can. It's the cosmos out there. Let's just spray the cosmos energy. Big world out there. Embrace it. Go for it. You know, if we could only see our place in the universe. Last night in the UK, we had one of the first frosts of this winter, and I looked out on the balcony just before I went to bed, and you could see every single star in the midnight sky. It was absolutely beautiful. And, you know, you stand out on a night where you can see the stars and it's not cloudy. You just look at the sky, you look at the stars, and you think, wow, there is just so much out there. There is just so much out there. You know, the cosmos is so huge and beautiful and ever expanding, ever evolving. And the thing is, we are stardust, okay? We are of that. And so we have that energy within us that is able to create, evolve, grow, explore, do all of that. It's just the shadow that says, are you sure? Are you sure? Is it safe? No, stay where you are. So this battle needs to be won with ourself, but with love, with compassion. But it starts with taking the first step. Bottom of the pack, as I look at this, is the card of the miracle. You've got to believe in the miracle. Let's take that card. You've got to believe in the miracle. Do you? Only you can answer that. Do you believe in the miracle? Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in the extraordinary? Or do you just believe in the humdrum? The humdrum is just, no, this is the way life is. This is the way it is. This is the cards I've been dealt. This is my lot. Keep my head down. Keep going. It's the opposite of this energy. The miracle can knock at your door at any time. Back to my friend with the 2 people with dementia she's looking after. I believe in a miracle there. I don't mean that they're going to suddenly become well. You know, they're very old, both people she's caring for. But, you know, I believe there's a miracle that's possible for her life, okay? And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how it manifests. I don't know what help that what that help looks like. I don't know what that opportunity looks like, but I know it's possible. But she has to believe it's possible, okay? That's the thing. You can't hold out for the miracle. You can't just wish the miracle for somebody else. I mean, you can do it, but really it's got to come from within them. It's got to come from within you for you to manifest the miracle in your life. Part of the miracle is also surrendering. A miracle by nature is something that comes in out of the blue and is sort of unexpected. And it's like, wow, it's a miracle, because I wasn't seeing that coming. Okay, let's have 4 cards from this deck then, please, Metatron. Whatever is the next message or ties in with what we're already talking about. 4 cards, please. For today, for the people watching. Pole shift, okay. That was actually underneath the card of miracle, which is the pole shift. So pole shift, we'll talk about that in a moment. Now, you know, straight away, it doesn't necessarily mean pole shift in terms of climate or anything like that. Here, this card says, I mean, it can do in another spread, but I'm not feeling it here. This is about a change of heart. It says a change of heart, a turnaround, or a reversal. What was I just talking about in terms of miracles? So a pole shift is literally Metatron's way of saying, from a place at the moment where you feel as though there is no opportunity, there is no option for expansion, you know, nothing's going to, there can be a radical pole shift. I mean, the pole shift card and the card of miracle together is saying, you know, don't underestimate the power of spirit. Don't underestimate the power of your higher self. Don't underestimate the power of this light within you to be able to defeat this other aspect of you, which at the moment you feel as though has got you, you know, completely cornered and has won. It hasn't won. All you have to do is stand up to it and say, I am this. I am this. I am the divine in a body. I am God in a body, as are you, as is everybody out there. If you are God in a body, there is nothing that cannot be achieved. The miracle is possible. The first thing is you've got to believe that you're God in a body. How interesting, the colours of today, back to that magenta and brown. Magenta is the colour of heaven, linked into the divine. Brown is the colour of earth. Earth is linked into the body. Magenta in the body. Where's my magenta spray at this point? I feel like we need a squirt of magenta. Magenta, heaven to earth. So this is the spray that links into magenta. And let's also bring in the energy of earth, which is up here. So I'm going to ask you just to envisage magenta above your head, and it's streaming down into your body, okay? And I'm also wanting you to imagine the earth, the colour brown and copper, is streaming up from your feet. So we've got this beautiful energy of earth rising up from your feet into your lower body. And then we've got the energy of magenta flowing down from the higher realms. And it's as though that is now flowing down into your heart. But I'm actually seeing as though the two colours, they're coming up to meet each other until we get this beautiful magenta and copper brown energy located, I'm just going to say in the centre of the body, because it feels as though it's anywhere from the heart down to the solar plexus. But I'm also seeing within your auras now, magenta and brown light. Okay, let me just put that in. So that's brown for the earth, your body. It's recognizing your body as an aspect of the divine. And then we're putting in magenta. It's almost as though we're being asked to recognize our body as this most magnificent vehicle, which it is, to be able to carry our soul in this lifetime through everything that happens to it, to be able to make the right choices. I'm almost hearing now as well, your body is encouraging you to make the right choice. This also might have a ramification linked into some of you who've got health problems, okay? Your body is asking you to make the right choice. I'm seeing that around myself. I'm a pretty healthy lady. I'm very grateful to that. But, you know, I've got my aches and pains like everybody. And, you know, last night, just going up the stairs, my knees are killing me. And I know why. You know, there are some changes I need to make. And it's like, how long are you going to ignore those cries from your body, which is saying, for God's sake, you know, do something, you know, do anything, but don't not do anything. We're back to squirming. I know damn well why my knees are hurting, okay? At a metaphysical level, okay, knees are also about moving forward in life. I also know what it's about physically, okay? I know what it's about. You don't need to tell me what that is. I know what it's about, okay? That's the other thing that's going on a lot at the moment. People are just very quick to sort of, with love, but offer advice and guidance to everybody else under the sun. But it's like, hold on a minute, we've got to give that advice back to ourselves, okay? It's nice to be able to offer help to other people, but really who you need to help is yourself right now. Ow. I just banged my neck. It's important, guys. It's important. I know it's important, okay? It's important for me. It's important for you. It's important for all of us. Our body needs to be heard. I've got some potions and lotions sitting on my desk. You know, I am trying to do it, but it's small steps. You know, your body needs water. For me, as an example, just to show I do try and practice what I preach, I have got sitting here, these are, what are these? These are capsules, glucosamine. Basically it's joint, they're tablets for your joints. I'm going to take one now. I just feel like I need to take it symbolically to show you. I have herbal mixtures downstairs, which I started this morning. I've said to you, I'm going to try and start walking every day. You know, losing some weight, all the rest of it. It's all, if you look at it overall, it's like, oh my God, where to start? You start anywhere. Where's the card? You just get to it. You get to whatever it is in your life that needs looking at, and you do it. Okay, nose is itching, always a sign that I am speaking some truth. Right, let's have a look. Let's have another few cards. I bet you there's a few of you with knee problems at the moment. I mean, I know it comes with getting older. As you get older, lots of people get problems with their knees. But in all seriousness, knees are about moving forward. This is a year where we're being forced to move. No. We are being given the opportunity to move forward, okay? Back to squirming, resistance, okay? Knees literally don't know whether they're moving forward or going back or staying still. They're a joint, you know, any joint. Yeah, a joint needs to be moved. The joints in our body, I feel, are very much speaking to us at this moment in time. Okay? I like that colour, sorry, my nose. I like that colour combination actually for joints. Earth, magenta. Reminding the joint in your body as an example, oh gosh, that it is not separate from God. If you're God in a body, what often happens when you start to have problems with your body, whether it's a knee, whatever it is, we don't even realise we're doing it, but half the time we're judging the joint, okay? We're judging whatever is wrong with us, you know, and again, the energy that helps it is actually to bring love into it, understanding into it, compassion into it, listen to what it needs. Okay, let's have two more cards. Metatron's saying to me, you see, going back to the child, the inner child, children are very good a lot of the time, or in terms of telling you what they need. You know, if you've been into the shops and you see a child having a tantrum because it's hungry and it wants to be fed now, you know, or a young baby, it's tired, so it will cry its heart out until it gets the conditions that it needs to go to sleep. If a child is bored, it'll tell you, you know. Children are very good at being able to say what it needs, what they need. So we need to be a little bit more like that, you know, not having tantrums, of course, in the middle of the supermarket, but it's again, children just are able to see a little bit more clearly. We're being given the gift, though, of being able to see clearly what we need. That's the message. Right. Okay, yes, we know what you're saying there. Well, firstly, we've got the divine feminine. Okay, so I'll come back to that in a moment. The divine feminine energy, which is also, we're resisting at some level, I'm hearing. But I was laughing because of this card, which is the fungi funeral. Fungi funeral. It says moderation, sobriety, and healthy choices. So that is a nod there to, well, it's everything, isn't it? It's diet, lifestyle. And remember, diet isn't just about what we eat. It's about what we feed ourselves in other ways as well, okay? So particularly on social media, there's some very, very toxic stuff out there, okay? Very dark, toxic material. If you are ingesting that dark and toxic material the whole time, hey, guess what? You're going to hold that dark and toxic energy within yourself. And it's like, well, what your body's like, well, what do I do with this? You know? So sobriety, healthy choices, and moderation come into everything. It's not just about food. It's not just about drink. It's about how you live your life. I'm also hearing simplification, you know. One of the things I want to do, going back to diet as an example, is I want to get back to a simpler way of eating, you know, stir fries, things like that, just rather than, I think we all have too much stuff basically in our cupboards, and we sort of reach for things that we don't really need. So a simpler way of eating, but equally now take that down into other choices as well. Healthy choices. If I say healthy choices, what does that mean to you? What's coming into your mind? Okay, what does that mean? You know, it's going to mean different things to different people. But you're also being asked for moderation and sobriety. I used the word, I used somber in a video the other day. Okay, sobriety is obviously slightly different, but yeah, you know, of all the Heart Squad that I channel, I mean, there's so many videos I need to be doing, I know, this is another one I'm now saying I need to do. They all need to be done. But Prince is coming in a lot, and he's coming in terms of me and as a guide for me, but I think also for a lot of you as well. One of the things he keeps talking about is sobriety. And, you know, I've mentioned that when I did the channelings with Prince, it was like I could not have drunk any alcohol or anything, you know, for a couple of days before doing the video. Sorry, the battery died. It's so funny. The way, can you see the way I position my camera? I hadn't realised I was doing it, but you can see now my coat and hat on the door, and everyone keeps saying about looks like Michael Jackson. Because he wore the boater in Smooth Criminal. Every time I talk about Prince, you see, Michael and Prince, they've still got this sort of, they're quite competitive with each other. So now I've got Michael here as well. But no, in all seriousness, Prince, like, you know, no alcohol, very, very sober, you know, a sober, Prince is good in terms of trying to help you to lead a more simple, yeah, I want to say sober life, okay, which doesn't have to just be about alcohol, but you know, yeah, he's into the green tea and all that type of stuff. So I don't like green tea, Prince, but anyway, I have to find something else. The other thing that he's saying as well here, and this is a very important point when we talk about healthy choices and just choice generally, is that if you don't do it, the only person you're actually cheating is yourself. Okay, it's not about what you say to other people that you're going to do and then maybe you don't do. It's like the only person you're actually cheating is yourself. Okay, so he's saying that as well. Right. Okay, because he's saying that the problem is that we live in this era of mass consumption of everything, and it isn't made easy for you to make moderate choices in a society that is leading you towards excess. And to turn away from excess is almost like turning away from a cultural norm. But he's saying that cultural norm is going to change and is changing. But like any change, the change starts with you. So the more of us that can adopt a more moderate, simpler life and choices, the easier it's going to be for the others that follow through. Okay. Card number 13, you see, the card of moderation and healthy choices is also the energy of, 13 is the energy of regeneration. So, yeah. Right, the Divine Feminine. Why have we got the Divine Feminine there? Are we resisting her? Maybe. You know, we've got the maternal energy here. There's a big thing about mothering. I want to talk about mothering. And I feel as though there are a couple of teachers that want to come through to talk about mothering. Mother Mary is an obvious one. But in terms of more people that have been here more recently in our world, Princess Diana, I want to bring Princess Diana through to talk about mothering. But also, one of you reminded me, thank you for reminding me, that the Dolores Cannon video that I did when I channeled her, it was left that she was going to be talking more about mothering as well. So there's this whole thing about mothering. Maybe it's linked into we're not very good at being able to mother ourselves, okay? We're always looking at for somebody else to do that. So we have to learn to hold that maternal energy. And the world needs to listen more to mothers, is what I'm hearing. For too long, it's been the patriarchal energy that has held sway and has dominated. But it's like there's this whole new breed of women coming. I've said this before in other videos. Whole new breed of women coming in that are mothers or who hold the maternal energy, even if they're not mothers. And I've said also it's about animals that are mothers as well, who are here to lead the way. So feminine values. Because also the thing is that if you're making choices based on love and you're making choices that nourish you rather than harm you, then you are basically nurturing your feminine side, which encompasses that divine feminine energy. So by you nourishing yourself, by you looking after yourself better, by you showing yourself that you care and you love you, even if other people don't love you in terms of what might have happened to you in the past, maybe you had an abusive relationship with your parents or whatever, but you love you, you are helping to ignite this divine feminine energy that is needed in our world because you're holding it, you're embodying it, you're being it, you're doing it. On the bottom of the pack, part of why some of us are struggling with this battle within us to make the right choice is that we've got used to feeling numb. Ain't that the truth? And we've got used to feeling numb through severe stress, shock, or disassociation. Something has happened to us where we've just wanted to disassociate, it's like it's not really happening. That can be the big things. I mean, it's all big things. Nothing is big or small. If it's causing pain, it's pain. But, it could be something linked into, for example, child sexual abuse, I'm hearing in my head, where you as a child had to disassociate from the horrors of what was going on there. You've numbed yourself. Disassociation also in terms of relationships. It's like I'm pretending it's not as bad as it really is. It's okay, really, isn't it? Maybe it's not. Funny how my stomach just grumbled at that point. Actually, we're hungry inside. We're feeling empty inside for something deeper. So, because we sort of know that and we're squirming to get away from that reality, we disassociate. We're not present in our body. We're being asked to get back in our body. We're back to those colours, the browns and the magenta. Back into your body to feel it. Back in your body to recognise that yes, that pain is there. That hurt is there. That stress is there. That dysfunction is there. It can take many different forms. Why you have pushed it away, whatever it is. But yet so too within that place inside you, the temple is God. You are God. Your God light is within you. And that will win the day. That will lead you to be able to make the choices that are right for you. But we also need to acknowledge and respect the fact why we've put ourselves in those prisons. Many, many factors. So it feels like a very compassionate reading from Metatron here, in that, I mean, he always is compassionate. You know, it's like he's encouraging us to move and change and make the right choice, because A, he knows we can do it, and B, he knows it's for our betterment. And it can come about when you really face it, and you get back in the body, you get back in touch with that godlike energy within you. It can come about, and it can bring about a rapid pole shift and energy of miracle in your life. But you've got to believe it's possible. And I'll tell you what, if one person watching this video today did that, okay, and then manifested that change, whatever that means in your life, you're going to make it easier for the next person down the line. Because when one person does it, it shows that somebody else can do it. But you do it for you, because you're worth it. Yeah, beautiful. I've just pulled a couple of cards from my own deck. Archangel Sandalphon. Look at the message on that. He's saying, I'm with you now. Archangel Sandalphon links into the body, the physical body. He's linked into the Earth star, the energy of Earth. Earth is linked into the body. I am with you as you try to get back into the body. And on the bottom of the deck was the card, the Indigo card. Indigo is linked into, I mean, look at, it's lovely. Look at this card. It's almost like these two cards are sort of summing up what we've been trying to say in this reading, because here we've got the inner child. This is your little girl or your little boy who's being asked to face that difficulty, face that challenge, confront what needs to be confronted, make the choice. And like she's feeling, she is feeling a little bit vulnerable, but yet the moon and the stars are guiding her. She's not alone, even though she's feeling it. And actually, if she can feel that and she can step into the indigo energy, then she opens up to the mystery and the mastery of life. And the star guides her. Okay, she is the star. The star is within her. Back to what I was saying last night about looking out on that night sky and just seeing the interconnectedness of everything, the beauty and the mystery of the universe, and how amazing it is. And you are part of that, and so am I. We're not separate from it. But to get onto that ride, that train that keeps going, we've got to be in our body. Sandalphon helping us to, he's just saying, I'm with you now. It's almost like no other words, I'm with you now. Let's just bring his energy in. This is the bronze spray. No wonder he came out as the #1 spray from last year that we sold. Bronze. Sandalphon. Oh, wow. See some. I don't want to say anything because I'm just feeling the energy. It's just like I can feel this peace and this gentleness, this love that comes through Sandalphon. And it's like, I then pulled that card and it's like to help us face this. Our light and our dark. Okay? And look at this. You know, this is about, which one do you identify with? Do you identify with this dark hooded figure? This is you, by the way. This is your shadow. Or are you going to step into the light? This is also you. Transformation is possible. And transformation is here. Let's just say a little prayer to end. So, asking Archangel Sandalphon, who is the archangel who takes our prayers to God, to just hear our request for help, to step into our highest truths, to be able to fight the battle within ourselves, to make the right choices for our own highest potential, to help bring light and opportunity to those that feel as though they are imprisoned by their own thinking, their own circumstances, their own life, and to remind them of their divinity that says anything is possible in any moment, at any time, and that God is within you, around you. And the emptiness and the hunger that some of us feel can be sated and satisfied with the light and the love that is here for us. Namaste, everybody. I'm going to go and get out for my walk now. Much love. See you all soon. I'll be doing another video this week, and I'll be bringing back, well, as a choice, Alan Rickman or Princess Diana. Probably both of them. Much love. See you soon. Bye.